Philly Strong Podcast. Here at Fit Elite, we believe in being strong for life. And for us, that means being strong not only today, inside and outside the gym, mentally, emotionally, physically, but it means for your entire life. So you can live the life you want for as long as possible. Right, Corey?
Right.
I nailed it.
Did
I
you?
nailed it. I did not fail on that one, but today we're going to talk about failure, right, Corey? Let's dive into it, buddy.
Failure is a necessary part of life.
It is. I think it's why do I think it's a necessary part of life?
Yeah.
I think my belief is that the only way you really grow is through failure. If you are, and we'll go into some stories here in I think examples of when I think it's a good thing, but like without failure, if I'm always having success, I'm not really ever growing, and I don't think that I'm ever really learning. Shouldn't say ever. I'm not learning as much from success as I do from failure, and so I think that in our life we have to have that failure, and I think it's the same as needing night and day or change of seasons. Without it, we don't appreciate it, right? I don't think you can fully appreciate the successes you have without having some failure, and they're good and bad. So,
But I only want to succeed.
listen, is that true? I know that's not true.
I only ever want to succeed.
That's not, me. And actually, it's funny. I think if you talk to my kids, there's times like I'll tell them, like, I want you to go out and try to fail. Like, try so hard that you fail. So Weston's 8 years old, and so when Westy's out skating, and he's doing like a skills skate or something like that, part of the things that he might slow down sometimes because he doesn't want to fall down, and it's embarrassing to fall down in front of everybody. But the only way you really learn to use your edges well, and you played hockey, but the only way I really learned to use my edges well is by really challenging myself on how far can I lean, how much can I trust my edges, so that I can cross over, I can turn faster, I can accelerate out. But he's got to push himself to that limit. And sometimes he's going to fall, but he's going to kind of learn where that edge is for him and really keep challenging that. And like, I'm in a drill, in a practice, like, go and try to fail.
Where are your edges?
I don't have very good edges. I don't practice. Yeah. I don't practice falling and failing on my turns or on my edges. It's just not, I don't need it in my life. Well, in skating, I don't need it in my life. But yeah, I think so let's use business as an example. We're not afraid to try new things. I think that here at Fit Elite, that's kind of something that we've done a lot. When there are personal training studios and big box gyms in Eau Claire, Dave came with the ideas like, I'm going to try this different thing. I'm going to try CrossFit. And it was a newer thing. And he decided that, that was a way you can connect. There was a fun methodology. It fit well where he was in his life at that time. And I joined kind of the same thing. And as time evolved, we try new things. We explore different ways of doing things. We push the edge on how we coach. We push the edge on how we educate. I think that we've been a front runner in a lot of ways on what we do, and not all is successful. We've tried new businesses, like, hey, we're going to open a 24-hour gym and we'll open Ignite at the same time, away from this spot. Well, okay, that was pushing it a little bit, and it was tough, right? To the point where I think we were open for a couple of years and 2 years, and we're like, this is just, we're spread too thin. We kind of overextended ourselves on that. We're going to have to pare back a little bit. So is that a failure? Sure, the businesses didn't keep going, but in a lot of ways, we learned a ton of things about how we operate, and what are important markers, and when you can go about doing these things, and what all that stuff means that we wouldn't have experienced if we hadn't done that. And eventually going away from CrossFit into more of the type of training we do now, was functional strength training with a conditioning piece. I think that was different too, and that was a risk. But I think that's the stuff we have to do because we wanted to continue to grow and continue to help as many people as possible. So yeah, I think that I find my edge a lot of ways and there's some business examples. How about you? Do you have any edges that you're trying to
None, zero.
test? Well, no, seriously. What areas have you've pushed yourself on or challenged yourself on and failed?
Yeah. I'm not prepared with stories like you. I tried to run 100 miles and I didn't run 100 miles.
Yeah. What did you learn from it? So you
But
went
I
out,
need to prepare more.
right. So you trained for it You had a plan, right?
Sort of.
Well, right. And then you went out and ran the 100 miles and you made it how far?
100K,
100K.
62.2 miles.
Right. Which is way further than most people would make it, right? It's way further than I would make it. But that's a very awesome accomplishment, but it's short of what you wanted to accomplish. And then, so you didn't make it. And what did you learn from that? What are some things you took away from it?
I learned that I'm not good enough.
That's not true. That's not.
That you need to prepare 10 times more than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's really all I learned from that.
Right. So you were underprepared. You kind of thought you were one spot, and then did you underestimate what it was going to be like? Is that
I had no idea what to think about it.
true? So where did you find the information to prepare? Did you kind of decide on your own? Huh?
Online?
Online. Okay. And you followed everything it said online?
No. Because I like to do it my way.
Right. Which is fine, right? But your way was ineffective.
Wasn't effective enough.
Right.
Wasn't effective
Right.
enough.
Right. Which is fine, right? So you learn that. Like I would do this way, or maybe different things you learn. Like I would plan more here. Maybe I'll adhere to that a little bit more next time, or I'll take these pieces and take my spin on it. But maybe not like more than I thought I needed to, is what you're saying. Cool. Are there other places that you challenge yourself and failed?
I mean, you fail every day, don't you?
Yeah, something, right? Well, okay, so let's take like when I'm working out sometimes, right? Not most of the time we're not going to go to failure, but sometimes I want to get close to it. I want to push the edge of that because that's how I'm going to get stronger and have adaptation or, so like if I'm want to increase my bench press, for example, um I'm going to push myself occasionally to failure. You're going to train, push myself to or close to failure, recover, and then train, do that again.
Mhm.
And that's kind of the system of strength training is getting at or close to failure on a not every week, but in a cyclical pattern, right? Cyclical pattern. I didn't.
A lot of talking this week. It's hard on your voice.
Yeah, can you hear my voice is very raspy? Lots of yelling. Working with a lot of kids groups this week, and it is taking its toll. That's the first week is always the most challenging week with that. So I'm,
Would you say you've been experiencing failure?
my voice is failing.
Vocal failure?
Not quite. It's just raspy. But like I have a couple of groups that I train when it's kids and space, and you got to project your voice. I did not do a very good job of talking from my stomach. I was mostly talking from my throat, I think.
Your stomach can talk?
Well, you talk from there. Like the singers will teach you to talk from your like diaphragm.
Oh,
To sing from your diaphragm. I need to talk from my diaphragm a little more. I was definitely voice talking. But like, so you train for failure to get stronger. And there are situations where I will, for me, for example, like I kind of I want to try as hard as I can, but I'm okay. I don't want to say I want to fail, but I'm okay if I do because I know that there's something I'm going to learn from it. And I've actually gone through this with like my kids when they try out for different things. I think I'll use it with kids, and this is I think a lesson that we can carry forward into our adulthood. I think that oftentimes, and this is not parenting advice or critiquing or anything, but it's just my observation. As a parent, a lot of times I want to protect my kids from failure. I don't want them to hurt. I want them to always be happy. I want them to always achieve the things they want to achieve. Um, the problem comes in is when I try to overprotect or I see overprotection of kids from failure. And once you do that, kids don't know how to fail. And when it does happen, so I protect them all the way up every time, the whole time I have them in my house, I'm protecting them from failure. I'm setting them up with the right thing. I'm talking to their teachers. I'm going to talk to their coach for them. I'm trying to put them in position to make a team. I'm trying to um, make sure that, oh, that's a bad grade. That the teacher must have done something wrong there. So they're in my house this whole time, and then they go to college or they go out into the workforce and they get confronted with a situation that they fail at. it can become very devastating at that point, depending on what it is. And a lot of times they may not know how to handle it. And there's a different navigating of how to handle that failure at that point. And what I find, I think, and there's things that I've experienced later on in life that I failed at versus early in life. It becomes it's way more impactful. Like it might have more of a detrimental impact later on in my life because there's more to risk. When I'm a kid, there's less to risk, less at risk. So if I can understand that I can risk things, I'm going to fail, and it's okay. I think it sets me up to be a stronger adult. Um, and so there's times that like I never want my kids to fail. And if they want to make a team, for example, I want them to make that team. If they want to get a job, I want them to do that job. But like if I'm telling the truth, I actually really look forward to the conversation if they don't. Does that make sense? So I want them to get there. But if they don't, I'm a little excited that I get to have that conversation. And so I can help like help them navigate that, help them counsel. I don't want to counsel them through it, but like talk through it with them and like all the things that you talked about. Okay, what would you do different next time? And what of this in this process? What can you control? Yeah, man, I didn't practice as much as I should have. I didn't do this thing, and here's where our coach told me this, and I didn't apply it. Or okay, so what would you do different next time? And then have them apply that next time and see. Like to me, it's rewarding, more rewarding than the success initially is overcoming that obstacle, failing, learning from it, and watching them succeed the next time. To me, like it's way more rewarding for me. And I don't know that the kids would necessarily reflect on it as kids as more rewarding, but I think as adults, as they get older, they'll reflect on that stuff and go, man, I'm glad that happened then because if it hadn't, I probably wouldn't have pushed as hard in this area here, and I probably wouldn't have ended up here. Or maybe I would have. I don't know, but I know for sure it taught me how to adapt or how to grow or how to challenge myself in a different way. So I think, like to me, I enjoy the opportunity to discuss failures with my kids, with my clients. Um, I think it's a good opportunity. So I kind of am okay when it happens because I get to have a conversation about it. So, and I'm a very like um I reflect on in my own head quite a bit on myself. Like growing up, I was very kind of overcritical of myself, and now I'm not as overly critical. I mean, we talked about before. I have moments where I project like how I'm feeling projected. That someone else is obviously feeling that way too. Well, maybe they aren't, but I felt that way about like, man, I didn't do I didn't hold up my end of things here, and they probably feel that way, and they might not. I felt that way a lot growing up, and now I've most of the time I give myself a little more grace, to understand like I'm just a guy, like I'm doing the best I can, but doesn't mean I'm okay failing all the time. I'm okay failing and learning from it and changing and growing.
Yeah. I don't think anybody expects to fail. I think we try to succeed and do our best to succeed. But if we fail, some people have had more experience with it, so they're not as devastated by it. It's not the end of their world. But I think a lot of people that I've talked to have talked about failure as something they never even want to try.
Yeah.
Like when we're down in the gym, everybody has this negative connotation of failing. But if you're not failing, you're not really pushing your limits and you're not growing as much as you potentially could.
Yeah. It was really interesting to me. And this is several years ago, and these folks aren't around anymore. And I think one of the questions we asked was, um, like, do you fear failure more or do you enjoy success more?
It's like, do you love winning or do you hate losing?
Right. And these people who I think you would observe them as very competitive, like go-getter type people, their answer was, I hate to fail. If I think I'm going to fail at it, I won't do it. And I was like, whoa, like that, it actually blew me. Like it still remember that's probably 7, 8, 9 years ago. And I still remember it. I can picture the day. it blew me away because I was like, wow, like you're a person who um, feels like you're a go getter who really wants to do these great things. But what I'm hearing you say is, I want to do the great things only if I succeed,
What if there's a guarantee of success?
guaranteed success, right? And it's like I was like, wow, like I didn't expect that at all, and it like really honestly like I this is horrible. I think about that a lot when I see them, and they're not unsuccessful people. I think they've done well. You know, I still see him and talk to him, and but like um, it just was one of those things that it really surprised me, and you know, I think it's to some degree normal, and really, I think a lot of times that comes down to insecurity, um, and like judgment of other people. Like, what are they going to think about if I fail? What is someone else going to think about it? And, you know, I don't remember where I saw it, who said it or whatever, but like, why would you care about the opinion of, I think I saw Aaron Rodgers say it actually. Why would you care about the opinion of someone you wouldn't ask advice from? Like, I think that's phenomenal.
I've seen a quote where they talk about you wouldn't fear failing if nobody was around to witness you fail.
100%.
You wouldn't be afraid to fail if
Other people
no one
weren't
witnessed you fail.
right. And like, I've moved on it to the point in my life, and it's one of those, again, a lot of it happens with my kids. I talk about with my clients a lot too, is like, forget them. Like, is like, does it matter to you really that much what that person thinks? Right. And if you really go down to it, no. It- Specifically, no. In general, yes. And I think that's just insecurity. And so if we can help build up our own, like, secures ourselves, our self-confidence, like, this, I am who I am. Like it or love it. This is what you got. And
Wait, the only two options are like I
yeah,
love
for
it.
me, with me
Oh,
it
okay.
is. Yeah, like it. I was gonna see if you caught that.
I did.
um, but like this just I've come to a point in my life, I'm guessing I was probably in my I'm 50 now. I would yeah. I'm guessing I was probably in my late 20s where I really found that security and that comfort with just me and just and like I'm doing this thing and someone says something about it, like, okay, all right. Like, it doesn't impact me. What you think about me or what I'm doing doesn't actually impact me. There's zero impact on my life, what you think. You could go talk to other people, and other people who know me might know one thing, and like, oh, that doesn't sound right. Or if they don't know me, they might believe you. Or if they agree with you, cool. Like, that's fine. You don't have, I don't, not everybody has to, I would like to be liked by everybody. Not everybody has to like me.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Or agree with what I'm doing, or I always love when people uh, enjoy other people's failures. Ah, did you see that? I'm like, I mean, yeah, but like, why are we bringing that up?
So we don't want to deal with our own stuff.
Yeah, because we're crabs in a barrel, right? There's a reason that they talk about crabs in a barrel. They're always trying to pull other people down so that you're level with me. And I think that, do I do that? Do I do that sometimes? Probably. You know, I mean, I think we all do that to some degree on occasion. Am I more aware of not doing that? Or if I catch myself doing it, like correcting it and be like, you know what, but whatever. Like, I don't care. It's whatever. I don't know. But like, I think we need to do a better job as people of like, don't care so deeply about what other people think or how they judge you. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much what they think.
Hmm. I agree.
What else are we going to talk about? Failure, Core?
Just like, oh, you put your hand up.
Yeah, I put my hand on my
What else do
face.
you want to
What
talk?
else should we talk about,
You just
Corey?
see your feet kicking too.
Yeah, no, I can touch the ground. If I could touch the
Oh,
ground, yeah, we're
your
good.
feet can touch the ground because
Hmm.
you're not that short.
Yeah, yet. No, my chair's not that high.
Uh, I don't know. I've just hear a lot of people talk about failure down there on the floor.
Yeah.
And that'd be a good conversation to have where especially when you're lifting weights, you kind of want to know where your capacity is, and you kind of want to be able to push to that capacity. Like you said, we're not always going to failure, but you kind of need to get somewhere near it at some point, unless you're never going to know, which means you're not pushing your potential as much as you could, and you're not getting as strong as you could, or you're not making as much progress as you want. So you kind of know how to know where your boundaries are.
Mm-hmm. I remember having I hope she doesn't mind me shouting her out. And I don't know if she remembers this, but I remember it. Um, Ingrid, who remember here and coached here for a long time. And I remember like it was several years ago, but I remember coaching a class and I felt like she was at a point, and I think a lot of people at this point, is that they're capable of way more than they let themselves do. And I remember I don't remember, was it an overhead squat at the time or front squat? I don't remember. But it was a squat of some sort. And I said, hey, I want you to squat so much today that you fail on your last set. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, like I want you to push yourself to the point today that you fail. Like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do that." I go, well, what's the worst thing that happens? Like you drop the barbell on the ground and then we pick it up and try again later on, or we're done for the day at that point. I mean, you move well, you're able to keep yourself safe. I want you to the point that you have to drop the barbell on the ground. And I think she maybe, I don't know if she listens to us or not, but um, I feel like she PR'd her lift that day. And like, it was just for me, it was great to see someone go, oh, like, all right, so I do fail. What's the worst thing that happens? I dropped the barbell. I mean, I had that with one of the middle school students as well. And she's like, I don't know if I can lift that. I'm like, well, first of all, let's change that conversation a little bit. Second of all, the worst thing that happens is you drop it, you set it down. Like you just get to that point. And she ends up squatting, and we were trying to do like kind of a max ever. I don't one rep max with middle school kids, but I'll say, all right, we're gonna do this weight as many times as you can. And she's like, I don't know if I can do that. And then she ends up doing it like 10 times. It's like, like you went from not knowing if you could lift that weight one time to doing it 10 times and probably had 2 or 3 more reps in the tank. We're just not challenge yourself much enough on this to know that you can do way more than you can do, whether it's lifting or work or family or friends and a lot of areas of our life. We can do way more than we think we can. And to push to that end where we kind of get to the edge and sometimes fail or sometimes kind of teeter on that edge, I think it's a really good thing to do.
Mhm. Well, that's the beauty of growth is you always have to test your new potential. Because once you fail once, doesn't mean you're never going to fail again.
Yeah.
Especially when you're lifting, because you can get so much stronger so fast.
I love it, Corey. Anything else I'm feeling that we didn't touch on that you want to talk about? So here's my 2 cents at the end of all this. Go out and fail. Like push. I think we should all push ourselves. I mean, obviously we don't want to push ourselves into a situation where it's catastrophic, where I'm going to challenge myself and I'm going to risk everything I have to do this one thing. I mean, you gotta be smart about it, but get to the edge. Don't be afraid to have some failures. Don't be afraid to like challenge yourself. So whether it's in the gym or trying a 100-mile race or um, trying to get a job that you don't know if you'll get or a promotion or um, you know talking to building new relationships. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. What you think is the worst thing isn't that really that bad most of the time. And so challenge yourself, encourage those around you to challenge themselves because you're going to grow and the people around you are going to grow. And I just think it's a really great thing. Boom. Well, that is it for today, guys. So if you got some value out of this or you think you want to share this with people, give us share the podcast, give us a like, give us a review, 5-star, of course. And you can like it or love it, right, Core? That's right. But we'd really appreciate that you guys we would like to reach as many people as possible. And then down the road here, Corey and I are talking, and I think it's time to start introducing and talking to some of our coaches a little bit more and getting to know them a little bit. There are more people here than me, Corey, and Dave, and our members. So we will start organizing that, and you get to know those people a little bit more and kind of a little bit of their backstory and what got them to here and hopes and dreams for their life. Yeah, yeah. Can't wait to dive into your hopes and dreams, Corey. Yeah, right. Why not, Corey? Okay, well, that's a different topic. All right. I know I am. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you again very much for joining us for the Philly Strong podcast. Have a great one.
Have a great one. That's how you're going
That's
to.
my ending.
That's
Have a great one. Have a good day.